What's going on, guys? My name's Dane, and today I'm going to show you how to make a woolly bugger. This is a woolly bugger right here. It's a streamer fly, meaning you retrieve it. Unlike normal dry flies where you just let them sit, you can catch all sorts of fish with this. Trout, bass, pike, you name it. Let's get started. I'm going to show you all the equipment that we need. First, we've got a little needle here called a bodkin, a bobbin with some thread, size 70. Right here we have our vise, and that pretty much does it for the tools. We're going to be using some marabou feathers, saddle hackle, this is basically the tail feathers of the marabou, some streamer hooks, I'm using size 8, fly head cement to seal the whole thing up at the end, chenille, and some lead wire to weigh it down. Let's grab one of these hooks and put it on our vise. You want to make sure to not get the part with the barb because you might damage the hook. I like it right about there. We're going to get some of this lead wire. I'm using 0.02, and we're going to cover about half the shank of the hook. You can just pinch it off, it's so soft. So I just leave a little space right here about the size of the eye of your hook, which is this part. That's just so that you'll have more space at the end to tie everything. Alright, now we're going to tie up this lead. Doesn't matter really where you start this thread, just want to get it started. All the way back to right before the hook starts to bend. I'm going to snip this back piece off. Forgot to mention, you need some scissors. We're going to grab some marabou feathers and make the tail. Just separate these feathers on each side, and we're going to roll it down. We're going to bunch them all up together and keep pulling right off that stem until we get a piece that looks like this. Now I just like to get a little bit of saliva on it, get it wet like that. I'm gonna tie basically this entire thing on and cut it later. We're just gonna want to tie this tail up to that lead. So we're starting to build the body shape just like that. Tie all that in there. Make a bit of a taper. Now we're going to grab our saddle hackle, and this will go around the fly in a spiraling action. Grab the feather and then go against the grain, just like this. And you'll have this little tab on the top. Pull the feathers back, except for the tab, and then we're going to tie this on. First couple twists don't have to be tight, but when you go back, make sure they're nice and taut. We're going to leave a little bit of room behind this feather so that we can get some chenille behind there, which is our next step. So I usually grab about 4 or 5 inches. Definitely want to have a little more than a little less so you can get it completely on the body. So now we're going to bring this feather forward to get it out of our way. And we're just going to tie this chenille a couple times around the back of the feather and then a couple times around the front of the feather. Now we're going to bring it back and tie the chenille up front. Let's bring our thread up to the front so it's ready to tie. going to grab this chenille, bring it once around the back of the feather, the saddle hackle, and then once in front of it. And then we're going to keep going all the way to the head of the hook. I keep this nice and tight so our fly stays in shape. And remember, you want to leave a little bit of room. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get this thread and tie it behind the chenille. Tie it a couple times. I'm going to snip off this extra stuff we got. Just like that. Now we're going to grab this saddle hackle and then wrap it around as well. We're going to do this about 5 or 6 times. We grab this thread and do the same thing we did with the chenille. We're going to give it a couple ties just to secure it in place. Snip off the extra. A few more wraps. Once we've tied it up, we're going to cut off that thread. Get our little bodkin here. You can use a needle. Doesn't really matter as long as it's small. And drop it on the top of the fly. We're going to shorten this so that it's about half the length of the entire fly. You don't want to cut it with scissors because it'll look unnatural. Boom. And there you go. That's how you build a woolly bugger. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.